views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Open, the show that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, and we've got a fantastic show lined up for you today. Coming up on today's show, we'll learn about events taking place to discuss the end of life, working to engage the community on hard-to-ask questions. It's very serious. Plus, we'll find out about a unique senior care facility in the Bronx, and we'll preview a night paying tribute to comedy icons aiming to spread laughter while showcasing industry greats. After that, my man Bobby C has the latest in news in the world of sports. I know he's going to be talking about Boston, and he's going to be talking about the undefeated teams in football too. So stand by, all that's coming your way. And then later on, Legends of Disco returns to the Lehman Center of the Performing Arts, and we'll be joined by artists involved to check out what's in store. My man is here. We're going to let you know more about that in a little while. Stay tuned. All this and more headed your way because we are definitely open. And welcome back, everybody. Hello, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open, the live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. Stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, on November the 3rd, a discussion will take place on racial disparities when it comes to end-of-life care. Joining us with all the details, we have Michelle Drayton, the Director of Hospice and Palliative Care Outreach, Visiting Nurse Service of New York, and Andrew Ingall. He's the producer of Regimen End of Life, and we welcome you guys to the show. Now, Michelle, you've been here before, and we had some serious discussions on end of life and some other things dealing with an area that you're working in.
Absolutely.
Now, today we're talking about the disparities, right?
Right, and we're talking about it through Reimagine Life, which is a wonderful initiative that's sparking conversations all over the city about end of life through very creative ways and different ways. And on November 3rd, we're going to be talking to two experts, Dr. Jessica Zitter and a pastor, and myself. We'll be having a discussion about why are there disparities in access not only to end-of-life services, hospice and palliative care, which we discussed before.
Yes.
Hospice is a part of your Medicare benefit. There's really no financial barrier. So why is it that many African Americans and Latinos and Asians and Native Americans are not accessing the services? And we'll be having a discussion about that.
You think it's a scare? Like palliative care, or going into that area, this is the end of life, what do we do?
Right.
And you just freeze?
Right. Well, I think that that's part of it, trust. One, it's a frightening topic. We all want to live as long as possible. But at the same time, there's also issues within the system, within the healthcare system, as to why that is not presented to people earlier. And we're going to be talking about some of those things. And how do you get the best care for your loved one? How do you get the best care for yourself? We're going to really provide people with some tools and resources that they can take away and begin having that conversation early before your loved one gets really ill or terminally
it's inevitable.
Ill.
It's coming, so why not have that discussion? Just sit there and just throw it back and forth. Some people say, I don't want to talk about
Absolutely.
that right now.
They're frightened because if they talk about death, it's going to happen to them immediately. So let's postpone this. It's not a conversation that I want to have right now, but we're finding ways with Reimagine, working with faith-based organizations like Riverside Church, where this event is taking place on November 3rd. We're working with cultural organizations. We're working with film festivals. We're doing stand-up comedy. Anything to get people to begin that conversation.
Yeah. And end of life is all a part of life. It's a circle. You're born, and then nothing lasts forever.
And there's another part of it, Bob. I mean, if you're not accessing services when you're terminally ill, on the other side of that, we're also not accessing preventive care services. So, in terms of dealing with chronic illnesses, things that we're all commonly familiar with, diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, pulmonary disease.
Yeah.
These are also chronic diseases that we're living with on a daily basis, and we're not necessarily accessing the care. We're oftentimes accessing the care very late, or we're not even accessing preventive services. So we're going to have a conversation about why that is and how can we actually change that dynamic.
And so you're going to have all of this under one roof. Where's it going to be? How's it going to look?
The beauty of Reimagine is that it's taking place across the 5 boroughs. We're meeting people where they're at, whether that's geographically, spiritually, culturally, and the Bronx in particular. We have this wonderful anchor partner, Montefiore Hospital, the Children's Hospital of Montefiore. Talk about death being this taboo topic. When you bring children into the conversation, that makes it even more taboo. Especially with what's going on now, with Pittsburgh, with Kentucky. How do we talk to our kids about death? So Montefiore is doing this beautiful event where they're linking remembering children in the Bronx who have died with organ donation so that those children can live on.
Yeah. Well, what do you tell people that say, that conversation is too morbid for me? I don't want to talk about that.
I would take them to a Reimagine music event. I would take them to a Reimagine stand-up comedy event. We have to meet people where they're at, give them an opportunity, and do it step by step in a gentle way.
We call it the identification technique. Let's see if we can meet you eye to eye. We can identify with you. You can identify what we're talking about. This is a thing that's inevitable, and we have to prepare for it.
Absolutely. And if we prepare for or discuss death, the inevitability of death, the likelihood that we are actually living a better life and that we actually honor and cherish the life that we're leading is greater. So, there is a clear benefit to having that discussion and really understanding the dynamics around why we're not getting access to those services, because the services are essential when someone is sick. All of the comprehensive care that comes with it, that's often done in the home. These are vital services that we're all going to be looking to actually receive.
Yes.
You don't want to wait until it's too late to be able to understand what's available to you and how to get those services.
Okay, so what should we start doing to access all of these services?
First and foremost, you have a medical home. You make sure that the physician or the nurse practitioner, whomever is your provider, that you trust them. You build a relationship. You understand what's going on in your own body. You start doing your own research. And the most important thing is that you have a discussion. You have a provider that is giving you the pros and cons to certain types of care. And when it's appropriate, they're saying, we need to increase the level of care that your mother or that your dad is currently receiving. They may very well benefit from this very comprehensive service called hospice.
Yes. What about the caregivers? They play a very important role in this area here.
Essential.
Caregivers, in particular, need care themselves. You can easily burn out when you're taking care of a loved one, so we're doing a lot of programming during Reimagine Week to focus on those caregivers and to make space for people who are grieving as well.
Excellent. All right, so you have these different locations. So where can we access these locations?
Well, first, I would suggest you go to our website, which is letsreimagine.org, and there you can search for events by day. You can search for events by topic. We have a whole sub-theme on inequities at end of life, racial disparities. We have programs focusing on stigma for people with HIV. You can look through that website and find something that's meaningful to you.
Yes. Racial disparities. What are people missing here?
It's a complex.
I know we touched it in the beginning, but
Bob, we've talked about this, a number of times. It's a complex issue, and it's not only on the side of end-of-life services. It's also about preventive care, and it really ties into issues of trust. It ties into maybe lack of insurance or being underinsured. I mean, the whole frame for this conversation is a bigger healthcare conversation. The Affordable Care Act, the fact that you had 45 million people who were uninsured in America, and now, that's down to 31 million. So, the politics of that and making sure that people have the proper insurance. And then understanding, who your provider is and forming that relationship with providers and someone that you can trust so that you can have the conversation. But the disparities are really real, and the gap is big, and it has implications for the rest of your life and the quality of your life.
And Michelle, I'd add to that, it's important that medical schools are training on implicit bias for those providers.
Yes.
Absolutely. Diversity in medical schools, in health careers, making sure that the people who are at our hospitals and our nursing homes and other healthcare facilities look like us, that they can relate to us, and that the goal is that we live the best life possible, right?
So once again, it's going to be at Riverside Church.
November 3rd at 2 o'clock. Racial Disparities at End of Life with Michelle Drayton and our two speakers. And please go to the website, letsreimagine.org, to attend other events this week.
And it's free.
Yeah, and we thank Ms. Ricketts from the Harlem Chamber.
Thank
Harlem
you.
Chamber of
Yes,
Commerce.
they are collaborating with us. Patricia Ricketts, Lloyd Williams,
Yes.
they're involved, they're engaged. Hopefully we can get our churches out, people from the Bronx. The events are amazing under the Reimagine Life umbrella. Just exciting events and really sparking a very, very important conversation.
And Andrew, that website again is
www.letsreimagine.org.
letsreimagine.org. All right, wonderful. Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks,
Thank you, Bob.
So
Always a
world
pleasure.
of information, and you got to continue to share.
That's-
And maybe afterwards you can bring some pictures and roll some videotape and talk about it again.
That'd be
Great.
great.
This needs to be spoken about
Discussed.
more often.
Thank you
Yes.
for giving us the opportunity.
Yes, you're always welcome to come back.
Thank you.
Andrew Engel, producer of Reimagine End of Life. Give him a big round of applause. Michelle Drayton, Director of Hospice and Palliative Care Outreach, the Visiting Nurse Service of New York. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks,
Thank
Bob.
you,
All right.
Bob.
Thank you.
We've got to take a quick break right here, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Open next. And welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and our next guests are from the Wayne Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation. They join us for a look at the center and their wonderful programs that they have there. We welcome Carmen Cruz Lee and Juan De Jesus. Juan G. They call you
right.
Juan G too.
That's right,
Juan
yes.
G. De Jesus. We welcome you guys to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Bob.
So tell us about the center. You guys have been in existence since 1974.
So thank you for having us, Bob. We are the Wayne Center for Nursing and Rehab. We're located 3530 Wayne Avenue. We are a skilled nursing facility with 243 beds at the Wayne Center. And we are not just your typical nursing home because, as you know, in the Bronx, we are overbedded with probably about 48 nursing homes in total.
Yeah. Wow.
We are special in the sense that not only are we 243 beds, but we're also a 54-bed ventilator respiratory unit, which is the largest in the Bronx. And we're excited to share this information to the community at large and to let them know that we're here for them.
Yeah, a lot of people living on ventilators and respirators.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Juan G, you work at the program?
Sure. I work with the Wayne Center. I'm the marketing manager there. It's amazing the amount of individuals who actually have to be on a ventilator. It depends on what happened in their life for them to actually be on the ventilator, whether it was a stroke or a huge accident that left them paralyzed and not being
unable to breathe on their own.
Unable to breathe on their own. And again, we are the largest vent unit in the Bronx with 54 beds. So we are in high demand because we actually partner up and work with all hospitals throughout the Bronx, but not only in the Bronx. We do Westchester County, we Jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, and
People are looking for a wonderful location, and
Absolutely.
they look up and they see
Absolutely.
the Wayne Center. You get a phone call.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
That's it.
And it could be, again, from anywhere. And with the ventilator unit, when we bring the families in to actually tour the facility, we speak about everything that we do and how the family will be taken care of and how our director of respiratory therapy takes care and is actually a person that's been doing this for over 20 plus years already, right? So she takes great pride in the work that's being done with the ventilators.
Yeah.
And we've been able to wean individuals off the ventilator to actually just live on the trach for a bit until they're completely off of it.
Yeah.
And we have great testimonials on it as well.
Yeah, wow. Yes.
We have great testimony as far as the weaning process on our ventilator unit. We also want to express the Wayne Center also offers short-term rehabilitation.
Right.
So for those individuals who are currently hospitalized and may need a subacute short-term rehab, this is a facility to choose.
Yeah.
We offer physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. Maybe an individual had a stroke. Maybe they're having total knee replacement surgery or hip surgery. So this is the place where you want to bring your loved one and get that physical therapy, occupational
back.
therapy, and
Right.
give back.
Give
Exactly.
back.
Exactly.
And since you were talking about end of life, we also offer hospice. And that's a little bit tougher when the family has to decide, what am I going to do now? And, at most points, individuals will end up maybe like in Calvary,
Yeah.
where it's
Is
the end
that-
of life hospital.
Is
you
that
know?
where you can't maybe wean them off? They won't breathe on their own? Or
Well-
it's either two options. You give them a tracheotomy or
Tracheotomy, right?
or you keep them on the
Oh, we keep
system.
I'll keep them on the system. I mean, the goal at the Wayne with our event is to wean every single patient. Realistically, every patient may not be weanable,
Yeah.
so we express that.
Because the longer they stay on, the tougher it is to wean them off.
It's
right?
tough to, yes, and the goal is to wean them.
Right.
So,
It's a case by case,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as you know, and they actually do their best. Again, to wean them off, and there are some that actually do come off of it,
Yeah.
and are
And others,
Actually-
it's a way of life. So you have other programs
Absolutely.
for
Right.
them. They can
Absolutely.
get involved in many different things at your center, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
With
Talk
that,
about some.
yes. With that said, we have an excellent therapeutic recreation department, which is headed by Eddie Gonzalez. You talk about keeping our patients, our residents busy, from bingo to movie night to pageant night, to Mother's Day events, Valentine's event.
That therapy,
you know, the therapy alone. It's the socialization that we give
See,
all
they
of our
have the
patients.
pageant night over
and
there. See, you
so-
should invite us over when you have the pageant.
Definitely,
Oh, absolutely.
definitely.
See
Absolutely.
people with smiles on their faces and you're getting ready.
Yeah.
Carmen actually started. You know, the Wayne Center is also about community.
Yes, yes.
And you know, our administrators understand that, so they have invited us to bring in different types of programs into the Wayne Center. Carmen herself started something called the Senior Task Force,
Yeah.
and every 3 months we meet up and we invite seniors from the community to visit us and see what the Wayne is all about. And Carmen could tell you in November we're
Oh,
going
you
to
got to
put something
continue
on.
to put a smile on somebody's face.
you
I mean, it's
know,
not over until it's over.
It's not over until it's over, exactly. I mean, we're excited to reach out to the community as well,
Yeah.
especially our seniors in the community. The Senior Task Force, basically, as Gabe was saying, is to reach out to the community, bring them into the Wayne Center, let them know that we have open arms for them, we're a nursing home, we're here to hear them, but we also bring lectures and we bring in special topics.
Right.
Yeah.
So right now
We're going to bring in a DJ.
Yeah, we need a DJ. So now in November we are looking to put together a Thanksgiving luncheon
Oh, good,
for our
good.
seniors in the community.
Yeah.
We're going to start, you know, spreading the news on that. You know, and there's several things that are happening, you know, as the months move closer to the holidays. Everybody starts partying and having some fun, you know, and that doesn't exclude the Wayne.
Yeah.
Just because you're in there doesn't mean that that's it for you. So we provide a whole bunch of different activities for our patients and their families so they can have fun. You know, we are a 5-star facility.
Yeah.
We obtained our 5-star rating again. You know, and we take pride. You know,
Well,
quality
everybody
care.
clap. Congratulations to you guys. Yes.
Thank you.
And you guys have been around since the disco days. So
Yeah,
we're gonna bring
yeah.
James D. Train Williams and
That's
shake
right.
the place up just a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. Well, actually invite him over. So like
There
that,
you
you know,
go.
if he's willing to come and speak to some of the seniors, I bet you they'll remember and have a great time as well.
Well, he does some wonderful things in the community. You can talk to him about that.
Absolutely.
I'm sure if he's free, he'll step into the room, wave a hand. You know.
Sure.
Sounds
sure.
great. Sounds
That's
great.
that's a feel-good thing. That's a good give back. So, what is your approach to this whole thing? Since you've been doing it since '74, the Wayne Center's not new on the block, and
Well, we've stayed focused on, again, reaching out to the community, reaching out to our partners. We partner up with every hospital. Again, in the Bronx, Westchester County, we
so you
work.
have a great outreach going on.
Absolutely. We work
Absolutely.
directly with our
Absolutely.
social workers, our nurse case managers, CTCCs, who refer the cases over to us, you know, so we can bring them in. The admission process is simple. We make sure that we receive all the information on the patient. Our director of admissions and the department look at it. And, okay, this is a person we can work with to wean them off of the event or get them the short-term rehab they need,
Yeah.
or the long-term placement they need, or the hospice, or the respite, because we do respite as well. So it's a mixed bag of a lot of different services.
Yeah.
And so our goal is to go out to the community and let everyone know information is power. If you don't know what we offer, then how will you know what services you're going to
Won't
need?
know what's behind the curtain.
That's it.
Exactly, exactly. We're culturally diverse also, so that's important. You know, our community needs to know that we're servicing them.
Yes.
And again, we have an open door policy. And just to go back to the Thanksgiving, that's November 15th,
15th, yeah.
from 2 to 4 at the Wayne Center.
Oh, beautiful. Is there a website we can go to and just explore?
Yeah, thewayncenter.com.
WayneCenter.com.
That's it.
Simple enough.
That's
We
it.
thank you guys so much. Give them a big
Thank
round
you
of
for
applause,
having us.
everybody. Carmen Cruz, Lead Director of Marketing and Business Development at the Wayne Center, and Juan G. De Jesus, the Marketing Outreach Manager at the Wayne Center. We thank you guys.
Thank you,
so
Bob.
much.
Applaud
Thanks for
you,
having
too,
us.
and thank you for your
so much.
service.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Open next.
your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Welcome back, everybody. On November 1st, the second annual LOL, Laugh Out Loud, Comedy Honors. The beautiful event will take place. And joining us to share more about this night, dedicated to comedy, the comedy industry, we have creator Marsha Taylor. And she came up with the whole thing, LOL, Laugh Out Loud,
Yes,
the
yes, I
honors
did.
program. Yes, Comedy Honors. How did you come up with that?
Oh, wow. Very interesting. I attended a comedy show back in 2014, and, you know, leaving the show, I just made a comment. That guy was so funny, he deserves an award.
Oh,
And just like
there you
that, the thought sparked an idea, and I started thinking, you know, why isn't there an award show for comedians? And then I thought, no, there has to be. You know, all these comedians out here, they're doing so well now. There has to be. And I did a little research, only to find out not one existed.
Steve Harvey, you hear that?
Yeah, not one existed.
Steve, you ready?
And so I saw the open lane and I took it. And in 2017, we did the first annual, and we had an amazing turnout, very successful. So here we are making a run of it again.
Where's it going to be held?
It's going to be held at Gotham Hall on 36th Street and Broadway, right in the Macy's area. So we're very excited. We've got a great lineup of honorees. And
We got to sit.
yeah.
We got to sit in the audience and check it
Oh,
out.
yeah,
I'm going to sit off
absolutely.
in the corner because you know those comedians can get on you a little bit.
Oh yeah, well,
Look at
well,
Bob sit
this
down
is-
there
yeah.
with his afro.
No, so yeah, they will get at you. And the thing about it, you know, because this is not a comedy show, it's an award show. We honor them for their work, and we really do cover the broad spectrum of comedy. We honor the social media comics. We honor the icons and the legends. We honor behind the scenes powerhouses, and you know, people get up there, and it ranges from, because they're comics, they're naturally funny, but that's, a lot of people are very emotional because they feel like they're finally getting recognized for their work. Yeah.
Excellent. So, started in 2014
Yes.
and inspired by you just seeing somebody.
Yeah, just
I
seeing
said, you know
someone,
what?
and
they deserve to be honored.
exactly, and that's how it came up. And it was so funny because I didn't even know, when I came up with this, I didn't even know one comedian. So I had no idea how I was going to do this. It was just an idea that, you know, that was sparked, planted, and it took me a bit to figure out exactly how I was going to do it, but we did it, you know. And last year we honored D.L. Hughley.
There you go. I was going to
Yeah.
ask you, who did you honor
Yeah.
so far?
Well, last year, yeah, D.L. Hughley, we honored the Queens of Comedy, Paul Mooney,
Oh, yeah.
George Wallace, Marsha Warfield, Lil Rel, who's doing very well.
Yeah.
In just the past year, you know, his career has taken off tremendously. So we've seen his growth. And this year we have an equally as amazing lineup. We have Chris Rock, Tracy Morgan, Cheryl Underwood. We have
She's celebrating.
yeah.
Happy birthday, Cheryl.
Happy birthday, Cheryl. Yes, we have Desi Banks, who is our social media comic influencer of the year with over like 2 million viewers across social
excellent.
media. Yeah, a little bit of everyone.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
a few of those. Well, most of the people that you mentioned. Paul Mooney, he used to be on radio on WBLS in the morning.
I didn't
well,
know
before
that.
Steve Harvey. Yeah.
Wow,
And he
that's
also wrote
interesting.
for Richard Pryor.
I did know that.
You did
now
know
that
that.
I did know. Yes, yes,
Chris
absolutely.
Rock, I brought him on stage when nobody knew him at the world famous Apollo Theater. I was
Is
one of
that
the hosts
right?
of Amateur Night,
Okay.
and I brought him on stage. He kept bugging me backstage. Pa, bring me on, bring me on, bring me on, bring me on. So I finally brought him on in between like a little segment that I was doing. So I want to introduce you to a friend of mine that goes by the name of Chris Rock. Everybody said,
Wow.
no, I knew him yet.
Wow. And
So
look
he
at him
grabs
now.
the mic and says, "What's up, mother?" Ah! And the producers and everybody ran up to me and said, "Bob, what?" And I got
Wow.
torn to pieces back
I
there.
can imagine.
So he got off stage. He said what he wanted to say. All right, yeah, I'm Chris Rock. And he dropped the mic. Boom. I almost blew out the whole system at the World Famous. But Chris, you remember that
goodness.
because I told you about it when we were in
Wow.
Atlantic City.
Isn't that something? And
But,
look at
yeah.
him now.
Oh,
Yes,
he's doing
yes.
some wonderful things.
Yes, he is.
He
And
laughed when I
he's-
told him about it.
He'll be receiving the Bernie Mac Legend honor. They, you know.
Oh, I've
you
gotta be
probably
there. I'm
know
gonna
we're
remind him
very
again.
close.
Say,
Yes.
hey.
Very nice.
He
Yes.
messed me up at the Apollo, but it was funny.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. So yeah, we actually are bringing Paul Mooney back. Last year we honored Paul with the Icon of Creative Excellence honor, and this year we're doing a special tribute to him,
Oh,
and
great.
we're actually naming that award after
Uh-huh.
him this year. So, so we're pretty excited about what's to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a lot of families in attendance. The family of the late Robin Harris, who
Oh,
will be
wow.
giving
Yeah.
an award to the comedian Earthquake.
Yes, yes.
And
Now,
you know,
He was on WBLS.
I know
too,
that I
with
remember.
Deja
Yes,
Vu.
yes, I remember that. So yeah, we've got a great show in store.
Great,
Very
great.
excited. Yes.
All right. So, why do you believe comedy is so important? I have my own ideas, but coming from you,
Laughter is good for the soul. Laughter is the best medicine.
You gotta laugh.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, life can be rough, and we're living in very trying times, of course, right now. And I just think that a good laugh, helps everyone, and there are no boundaries when it comes to comedy. It's for everyone. It's very subjective. What may be funny to me might not be funny, but there's something for everyone, and that's the great thing
and
about
it
it.
relieves stress.
Absolutely.
One
Yes.
person once said, if you're feeling kind of crazy, you don't want to laugh, have a smile on your face, just look into a mirror and put a
There you
smile
go.
on your face.
There you go.
And pretty soon you'll
Yeah.
start laughing.
There you go.
Just stay there for about a minute and just look at yourself.
Yes, it definitely it changes your entire, it can change your mood, your day, everything. You might not even be in the mood, but you might turn on the TV and see something funny, an old show that you used to watch, an episode of Martin or something like that, and it just changes your mood. So
What
I
about
agree.
laughter for medicinal purposes?
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah,
that could be
yeah.
a whole nother
Oh,
program.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Definitely, like I said, laughter is the best medicine, and I think it definitely does something for people, inside, as well as outside.
Yeah.
So this is going to be great.
And social media used to be us visiting people at different places, showing up in public, creating
Right.
pseudo events and smiling and
Right.
shaking your hand and
Yes.
kissing babies and all that's social media. But now,
Yes.
social media,
Yes,
how has it
yes,
changed the
yes.
game?
Oh my goodness, it's changed the game tremendously. I mean, just in every industry across the board, whether music, fashion, sports, it has made everyone a little bit more accessible. There's really not a whole lot of mystery. You had celebrities, you didn't, the big thing about them was that you didn't know a whole lot, and
Yeah.
now you just know a little bit of everything. But it definitely has its upside, that they are more accessible. So there are the pros and cons. You get to see a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You get to experience a little bit more up close and personal, and in real time. You get to feel like
And
you're
you got to
part
be
of
on your
it.
best behavior because everybody has a cell phone.
Everybody has a cell phone, at the ready, and so you have to be prepared. But, I think it definitely has, an upside to it when it comes to shows. You can watch
Yeah.
things live now, too.
That and people are getting jobs based upon how many people are following them or how many people like them.
Yes.
Oh,
There
you have a
was,
huge following. Come on, let's sign them up.
Right. They call it being an influencer.
Ah,
An influencer. That's
Uh-huh.
actually a job title now. You have 1 million, 2 million, 5 million followers, and you have large corporations who are paying people just to advertise on their page because they with a click of a button they're reaching millions of people, and so they are paying big dollars for that just because someone has the followers. So
that's why those apps are so big too.
how about that? Yeah. So an
Jump on this app,
influencer.
hey, maybe I have access to your content.
There you go. Yes. So that.
Email list and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, it's huge, and it's amazing. Sometimes you may not have even heard of one particular person, but you look at their page and you see they have 3 million people following them, and you're like, well, who is this person? And
New social media era.
the new social media era.
Wow.
Yes.
So you have this date coming up. Tell us about it one more time, and then give us
yeah.
a website where we can go for more
Sure.
information.
It is this Thursday, November 1st, Gotham Hall in New York City. And for more information, you can go to lolcomedyyhonors.com.
Marsha Taylor, creator of the LOL Comedy Honors. Give her a big round of applause, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll take a quick break, but stay tuned. We'll be right back. And I got my man Bobby C with the Sports Roundup. You don't want to miss this. kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Here we go now. We'll be right back.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words. Playing world music. What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
This is Bobby C. out at MetLife Stadium, where we begin our look at sports this week with the 1-7 Giants. The rebuild has officially begun. They fall to Washington 20-13 on Sunday.
Where do we go from here? I stick with the way that I believe to do it, and that's to continue to improve. Take 1 week at a time, do everything you can to prepare for that week, and build, and keep building throughout the course of the season. We need to work on the run game, our protections across the board. I think that there's a vast number of areas that if we could just solidify a little bit better, would make a huge improvement.
I mean, defensively, we try to hold them as much as possible, but we didn't do a good enough job to hold them off from scoring, getting points, and get an opportunity to get our offense back the ball. By doing that, man, they outscored us, so we do a pretty good job.
Do you think the team loses some of its morale when you trade away some players during the week?
I have no idea. Like I said, that's part of the business. Everybody's got to step up. It is what it is. Business is business, so I don't really know how to answer that. It doesn't make sense. I feel like we should be doing better. We're not, and this is where we're at. When we get down the red zone, we got to score.
It's adversity right now, and when we get this thing going and we get this thing rolling, we're gonna look back at this and laugh and see how this made us tougher.
Story remained the same for the G-men on Sunday. They took until the final seconds to reach the end zone in a 2013 loss to the Redskins. This is now the 5th time in 8 games they failed to score 20 points. Pat Shurmur's first season as head coach is not going well. More lineup changes may have to be made immediately, and that could also mean at quarterback. Eli Manning, asked about the trade deadline and his no-trade clause, responded, open quote, "I want to stay here," close quote. He's been with the Giants since the 2004 NFL Draft. The Jets lost to the Bears 24-10. Sam Darnold completed 14 of 29 attempts for 153 yards. Like the Giants, they can't seem to score anymore. Gang Green is now 3-5 for the 3rd straight year. We shift gears from the gridiron to the baseball diamond, where the Boston Red Sox are your 2018 champions. They defeated the LA Dodgers 5-1 in Game 5 last night to take the Fall Classic. David Price hurled 7 innings, allowing only 1 run on 3 hits. The well-traveled Steve Pearce was named the series MVP. He blasted 2 homers in Game 5 and went 4 for 12 with 8 runs batted in. In the series, the first baseman has played for all of the teams in the American League East, including the Yankees, but he's found a home as Boston's newest hero. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. The LA Rams are a perfect 8-0 to start the NFL season. They edged Green Bay 29-27 on Sunday. Tom Brady and the New England Patriots will invade Buffalo tonight for Monday Night Football. Brady is 28-3 all-time against the Bills, racking up 15 victories in upstate New York. You can make a case that he's the greatest Buffalo quarterback of all time. Just kidding. Alec Martinez scored with 55 seconds remaining, and the Los Angeles Kings stopped a 6-game skid with a 4-3 win over the New York Rangers Sunday. The Islanders beat the Hurricanes 2-1. New Jersey will be in Tampa Bay tomorrow night. In NBA action, the Nets fell to the Warriors 120-114. Steph Curry set another NBA record by making 7 3-pointers and finished with 35 points. The Knicks host Brooklyn tonight at the Garden. That game tips at 7:30 p.m. In MLS action, the Red Bulls topped Orlando 1-0, while NYCFC bested Philadelphia 3-1 on Sunday. The New York Mets have agreed to a deal to make agent Brodie Van Wagen their new general manager. The team confirmed he will be introduced Tuesday at Citi Field at 2:30 p.m. After his firing following an FBI probe at Louisville, Rick Pitino is planning to use the season to immerse himself in the NBA game and hopes to become a candidate for head coaching openings in the spring. All three defendants in the first college basketball corruption trial were found guilty of conspiracy to commit wire fraud last week. A jury found James Gatto guilty on all three of his counts. Gatto is a former Adidas employee. The outcome of the trial stands to have widespread impact on college athletics in the coming months and years, be it in the continued reform of NCAA bylaws or by way of punishments against coaches and or schools down the road. In Formula One, Lewis Hamilton claimed his 5th title. It took him an extra race than I expected, taking home the hardware in Mexico City over the weekend. Hamilton claimed his 5th championship almost exactly 10 years after winning his first in 2008. Hamilton's 4th-place finish was enough to secure the world title. He is now within 2 of all-time great Michael Schumacher for the most ever. He is also within striking distance of Schumacher's record race win total of 91, with Hamilton currently sitting on 71 Grand Prix victories. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list for a note on World Series heroes. This year's Fall Classic had terrible ratings, and from the jump, it seemed like Boston was simply too much for the LA Dodgers. What pain it must be to go to the World Series back-to-back years and lose it, especially when the Dodgers had their chances in the series. But this C-list isn't for LA's woes, but rather for the improbable World Series heroes, the reason why people should have been tuned in to the World Series after all. Steve Pearce didn't play very long with the Yankees, but he's quickly become a Yankee killer, and as we mentioned earlier in the Sportscast, a new Red Sox hero. On Saturday, he launched a tying home run in the 8th inning, then added a 3-run double in the 9th that sent Boston to a 9-6 win in Game 4. Pearce, 35 years old now, got the Red Sox rolling in the clincher, connecting for another 2-run homer off future Hall of Famer Clayton Kershaw in the 1st inning. He capped his October spree with a solo drive off Pedro Baez in the 8th. Pretty good production for someone acquired in midseason for a minor league infielder. He played 50 games after the trade. He became the first position player to win a World Series MVP while playing 50 or fewer games for the winning team in his career, according to Elias Sports Bureau. Pearce joined Babe Ruth and Ted Kluszewski as the only players 35 or older with multiple homer games in a World Series. Pretty good company there. Pearce was an instant hit with Boston, stroking a double against CC Sabathia at Yankee Stadium on the first pitch he saw after the deal. Later, he hit 3 home runs in a game against the Yankees at Fenway Park. A career .257 hitter in the majors, Pearce was solid in college, helping South Carolina reach the semifinals of the 2004 College World Series. Drafted by the Red Sox in the 10th round, he instead chose to stay in school and chase a title. He didn't win a College World Series, but the baseball gods, folks, rewarded him Sunday night, bringing him full circle with Boston, where he won the World Series. You gotta love baseball. I thought it was going to be Luke Voit that was going to be the guy this year to do this. I had the wrong, obscure first baseman after all. Congrats to Pearce and the Red Sox. They certainly deserve it. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
I guess sometimes things just happen. Devastating things. Your whole world changes in an instant. That's what happened to me the day my mother had a stroke. I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke fast.
Hi, I'm David Lesh, legal correspondent to the Morning Show Open. If you have a legal question that you'd like me to answer, please send me an email at davidlesh@bronxnet.org, and I will address it on our Ask Your Lawyer segment.
Bye-bye. Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
And welcome back. Hey, on November the 3rd, the Legends of Disco returns to the Lehman Center. They're joining us with the preview of this night of music, beautiful music, fantastic music, all the above. We have singer, songwriter, and instrumentalist D-Train. We're going James D-Train Williams, yeah. James D-Train Williams is in the house. He's in the concert promoter, Mr. Excitement. Bam! With that big Kool-Aid smile.
Bob,
man.
how you doing, man?
Always
How
a
you feeling,
pleasure to
Bob?
see you guys,
Absolutely.
man.
Good to see you, man.
You know, loved your work over the years, and people don't
Thank
know
you.
that you've been doing a lot of commercials, too. You've been
Did commercials
jingles
and then
things
jingles
like that?
and yeah, I've been working recently with the Boston Pop Symphony Orchestra. Doing the Kennedy Center honors, and it's been a wonderful ride, man. It's been a wonderful ride.
Man.
Man.
And a lot of young people, how do you keep them involved with your music?
Well, what happens is you have to. I often say to the audiences that I perform at, you never know where you're going to unless you know where you come from. And our history is long and great, all the way back to the Temptations, James Brown. So I just try to keep giving that off to the children, because what happens is you can't create unless you know what has been created for you, so that way you can blaze your own path.
Because I put the word out right here in the studio. Mike, I put the word out in the studio. I said, hey, you know, D-Train's over there. And a couple of them jumped up and said, yeah! A couple of them jumped up and said, oh, yeah, he's on it. But everybody else was like,
yeah, right.
Some of the young people.
D-Train's okay.
But we have to continue to let them know that, you know, this is a young man who's been out there and you've been promoting for years.
Right.
And this is a young man who's been out there paving the way, doing some wonderful things, not only in music and songwriting and, you know, you're an instrumentalist, you play.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, you give back to the community in a special way, too.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So this is James D-Train Williams, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
And this is Mr. Entertainment.
Close, excitement, but we'll go with that too.
I'll take that.
I believe.
That's how you rock it.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to doing the Legends of Disco. My biggest thing was I wanted to work with James again. I worked with him back in 2005 at the Lehman Center for the Performing Arts, and to bring it back to Lehman is a great joy for us, and not to mention bringing it to the Bronx, which is important, because a lot of these disco shows are going on around New York City, but they're not coming to the Bronx. So I'm just glad to really just bring this to the Bronx, and I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out Melba Moore. Today's her birthday, so
happy birthday to you. We're gonna party like it's your birthday.
So we have some great acts in the show. Melba Moore's in the act. I'm on the show. We have legendary Ladies of Sky. We have the original lead voices for Chic, Norma Jean Wright, Lucy Martin, and Alpha Anderson.
Norma Jean had her own record out.
She did.
Yeah.
She had one solo.
I still have her 12-inch in the slot
Absolutely. And you blew all those songs up. You promoted all that stuff on BLS over the years. But we have First Choice from Philadelphia, PA. We have Carl Carlton, Detroit, Michigan, and also Double Exposure. And am I missing somebody? Oh, James D-Train Williams.
Yeah. I gotta be there. Carl Carlton wet me up one day.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
with Jerry Curls? Bonds International. Oh, God. With the big blimp. Okay. Hey, D-Train had the Jerry curls also.
Oh, yeah. I have Caffrey curl to thank for this. Yeah. A lot of people do.
What was that stuff with the activation kit and all that
Oh,
stuff?
That was
Get the
S
super
curl.
curl, the S curl, the Bonner brothers.
I said everybody tried it, you know. We bumped down the afro a little bit.
But I was going to a lot of these shows around New York City, and I said, you know what, man, this would be a great thing to bring to the Bronx. And I just made the decision. I started Excitement Worldwide Concerts and Events, and here we are with the Legends of Disco. November 3rd, I'm at the Lehman Center for the Performing Arts. There's still tickets available. When you get your tickets,
Get
you
your
go
tickets before they sell out.
Absolutely.
Get them now.
LehmanCenter.org, or you can call the box office 718-960-8833.
And you got my man hosting.
Big Murph.
Big Murph. Big ups. Big shout out to Big Murph.
Yeah, he does a great show on ClassicSoul1075.com. And that's owned by your boy Sergio D.
Yeah.
Used to be on
Isn't that
PLS.
something?
So,
Sergio
yeah.
Dean is doing his thing.
Still doing it.
Yeah, but he's silent. Sergio was a bad DJ.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Sounded
I
like
remember
Frankie
Serge.
Crocker. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
sure
didn't take
did.
no mess either.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, we're looking forward to it. And like I said, James still has the energy. He's performing a lot overseas, and he's still here in
He's
New York.
looking good. Look at him.
Well, I'm trying to be like you, man. You know.
Like you jumping rope and doing sit-ups and all this stuff.
I do. I do. You want to stay around, you know.
How important is that? Because a lot of people think that, you know, you just pop up on stage and that's it. A lot of work goes into this.
Oh, yeah. What happens is the older you get, things change, as we all know. And you have to change your diet. You have to change your eating habits.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have different things that break down and stuff like that. But to keep going, what I do is I do a regulated diet and stuff like that. You don't eat the things that you used to do. I
No,
cut
you
meat
can't.
totally out of my diet.
You
And it's
can't eat
just
like
chicken
that.
and fish now. And I'm in the gym 5 days a week. So, you know, it's wonderful when you can still do push-ups and sit up and bench press a little bit. And, you know, because that's what's going to keep you here longer.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you think about it, it's like when the people were talking earlier about hospices and things like that. You say, well, I want to be around at least till I'm 75, 80. You know, so you get in that gym when you think of the alternative. You know what I mean? You get in there and you do it. And I have grandkids now. So it's like, you know, I have 3 beautiful grandchildren.
Oh, that's good.
And then my grandson came and hung out with me last night, and he's probably going to be a musician.
Oh,
he loves
good,
the
good,
guitar
good,
and the
good.
keyboards, and I take him up in the studio.
bring him up?
Yeah,
Bringing him in?
yeah.
Let him
You know,
about
he's
it.
straight energy on stage, man.
Yeah,
Still knocking them out. Keep on.
Like Babyface, like Jeffrey. Jeffrey Osborne was up at the station the other day.
Oh, Jeffrey looks good.
Man, he took
Jeffrey
off his
looks
shirt. I
good.
said, look at this guy.
Jeffrey been working out with Vin Diesel and the boys or somebody, because I said, wow, man, you know.
That's good. That's good. So it's gonna be a big show.
Yeah.
And who's gonna kick it off?
You mean who's going to go
Who's gonna
first?
start, yeah.
Well, we actually have a surprise act who's originally from the Bronx. She had a big hit in 1982. I'm not going to give out any secrets, but that we both know who that is. But so it's probably going to be the special guest. But it's going to be a 4-hour concert as well. So you know, definitely, if you got to go to the bathroom, you want to go before you get to the building because
empty it all out before you.
it's
That's
straight disco classics.
Act like you're going into the boxing ring.
Yeah.
Empty it all out before you get into the ring.
Right. Don't be afraid to bring the Afro wig or the silk
There
chandelier
you go,
shirts.
there you
The
go.
British Walkers. It's gonna go down.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna step in there with my platform shoes.
Please don't tell me they're marshmallows. Please, am I going there? Marshmallows.
And we might have to do it.
Come in there
Might have to do
leaning
it.
forward, man.
Oh my gosh.
That's probably where Michael Jackson got that thing from.
I know, right?
Marshmallows.
And also,
That's
we're
good,
we're also celebrating in honor of the veterans, of all of our veterans that fight
Right.
for the United States. So it's in salute to the veterans. And
Thank you for your service, guys.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you.
And a big shout out to Bronx Councilman Andy King, who's going to be involved. He's
Oh,
going to be
good.
presenting Melba Moore on stage with a Lifetime Achievement Award. So that's going to be really nice.
That's good. Andy does some great things in our community too. I think he's in the
Absolutely.
12th district in the
Yeah,
Bronx.
he is. He sure is. Yeah.
Andy King, big up to you too, man. Thanks for watching. He's a good guy. We're going to be doing something called the Roll to the Polls, so we urge everybody to get out there to vote.
That's right. Absolutely.
It's important.
Absolutely.
I mean,
More now than ever before.
yeah.
We got to
Get
vote.
out there. Yeah. So this is great. So how do you just to throw it in there?
Sure.
The difference between the music of yesteryear and the music of today.
Be honest.
Be honest. Best way to put it, my old manager, Tom Hoover. Tom said, when all the electricity goes off, that's when you know who the real musicians are. Because the guitarist can pick up an acoustic guitar and play it. The guy that's playing the synthesizer can sit down to the piano and play it. I had what, 5 keyboard players on stage, Fred McFarlane, all them dudes. And we've been in situations in those outdoor festivals where the electricity goes out.
The drummer can continue playing.
Yeah, that's right. Put a pair of bongos up there and he get down. But the thing you learn over the years is I tell the young people now, learn your craft. Know your craft. Be original. Don't be manufactured. You know, be often imitated but never duplicated.
There you go. Once again, the concert.
Lehman Center, Lehman Center, just say Lehman Center, Bronx, New York, Saturday, November 3rd. It's a 7 p.m. start time. Doors open at 4 o'clock for the box office. Get there early. You know how parking is here in Lehman, so you got to get that parking early.
Saturday, November 3rd, 7 o'clock. Be there. James D. Train Williams, singer, songwriter, instrumentalist. Who else is going to be there?
Melba Moore.
Melba Moore.
Legendary Lazy Sky.
Sky.
The former Lazy Chic.
Yeah.
First Choice.
All right.
Double Exposure. Carl Carlton, and you.
I'm going to be there too, and everybody watching, and a surprise guest going to pop up on stage.
Absolutely.
Is there a website?
For Lehman, yeah, lehmancenter.org. Our website, we're still working on it.
Okay.
But you can catch us on Facebook, Michael Mr. Excitement Jacobs, Instagram, Excitement Worldwide Concerts and Events, Inc.
All right, thank you guys so much. They're giving me a hard rap in my ear. Boom, boom, boom.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Michael, Mr. Excitement Jacobs, Mr. Entertainment too.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
Change the name.
James D. Train Williams, singer, songwriter, instrumentalist. Thank you guys so much. We love you.
Our pleasure.
For all the
Our
work
pleasure.
you guys
Thank
been
you.
doing
Good
over
to
these
see you.
years, and we're gonna try to step up into the room. Boom, 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 boom.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. You can catch a recablecast of tonight's show at 5 and 10 p.m. or watch anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. And you can tune in Wednesday too with all new episode with Darren Jaime. All right. For all of us here at BronxNet, have a great and enjoyable day. And always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser. Whether you say you can or you can't, either way, you're right. I'll see you on the radio tonight over 107.5 WBLS. Love you all.